Welcome to this audiobook summary of how to become a people magnet. Have you ever wondered why some people can effortlessly make friends, win over crowds, or walk into a room and instantly gain attention? Charisma, the magnetic quality that makes certain individuals naturally appealing, isn't an accident. It's not reserved for the lucky few. Charisma is a skill that can be learned, practiced, and perfected. And this book will show you exactly how to do that. You'll uncover the psychology behind charm and influence, and learn step-by-step strategies to increase your magnetic appeal. Whether you're building a business, looking to expand your network, or simply want to connect better with the people around you, the power of charisma can make a massive difference. In this audiobook, we'll break down the essential habits, mindset shifts, and psychological principles behind being a people magnet. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to build more powerful connections, influence others with ease, and lead with authentic confidence. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Attraction. The foundation of becoming a people magnet starts within, with the relationship you have with yourself. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have an aura of confidence? They walk into any room, and everyone seems to take notice. They're not necessarily the most attractive or the loudest. They just seem comfortable in their own skin. That's the first principle of attraction. Confidence in yourself and in who you are. Self-awareness and self-acceptance are key components of this inner confidence. When you are self-aware, you understand your strengths, weaknesses, values, and desires. This knowledge allows you to interact authentically with others, and authenticity is the foundation of all meaningful connections. When you truly embrace who you are, you radiate confidence that others are naturally drawn to. People don't just admire you for your success or appearance. They're attracted to you because of your energy. When you project a sense of self-assurance, others feel more comfortable around you. This doesn't mean arrogance. It means being comfortable with who you are, owning your story, and being real with others. Now, let's talk about authenticity. Charismatic people don't wear masks or pretend to be someone they're not. They understand that genuine connections happen when you are real, and when you're real, others feel safe enough to be real too. Stop trying to fit into a mold of who you think others want you to be. Instead, start showing up as your true self. People are drawn to that. When you align your actions with your true values, you'll naturally attract the right people who resonate with you. Chapter 2. Stop trying to impress. Start being real. Impressing others. We've all been guilty of it. The desire to be admired, respected, or liked can often lead us to put on a facade or act in ways that aren't truly aligned with who we are. However, this approach is counterproductive. Trying too hard to impress people usually has the opposite effect. Instead of building authentic connections, you end up creating distance. The key to attraction is not about performing, but about connecting. People are drawn to those who are genuine. Think about it. When you meet someone new, don't you instantly feel more comfortable when they're being themselves? Authenticity builds trust, and trust is the core of all lasting relationships. The more real you are, the more others feel comfortable doing the same. Let go of the need to impress. You don't need to sell yourself to others. Instead, focus on building a meaningful connection. Start by focusing on the other person. Ask questions, listen intently, and show genuine interest. People can sense when you're being genuine, and they're far more likely to open up to you. By being real and vulnerable, you make room for others to feel seen and heard. This will attract people to you in ways that trying to impress never could. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being authentic. Chapter 3. The Inner Mirror. Your relationship with yourself. The way you see yourself shapes how others see you. If you have a negative view of yourself, it will be reflected in your interactions. When you don't value yourself, others won't either. This is why self-love and self-respect are essential to becoming a people magnet. Your inner mirror is how you perceive yourself, and it is the first place to start when building charisma. It's the foundation of your confidence. If you constantly criticize yourself or doubt your worth, that energy will show in your actions. On the other hand, when you have a positive view of yourself, others will sense it and be drawn to you. Charismatic people hold a positive self-image, and they act from a place of self-respect. The first step to changing the way others see you is to change the way you see yourself. Start by practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate your successes and learn from your mistakes without judgment. The more you learn to accept yourself, flaws and all, the more naturally confident you'll become. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about valuing yourself enough to show up authentically and confidently. When you do this, others will be more likely to value you as well. Charismatic individuals understand this, and that's why they project such confidence. They know their worth and don't feel the need to prove themselves to others. Chapter 4. Listening is your superpower. The most powerful people magnet doesn't rely on how much they talk, but on how well they listen. Listening actively is a key component of effective communication and building connections. When you listen intently, people feel valued and understood, and this makes them more likely to connect with you. Active listening is a skill. It's not just hearing words. It's about being present in the moment, paying attention to body language, and offering feedback that shows you are truly engaging with what they're saying. People who listen actively don't interrupt. They give the speaker room to express their thoughts fully. By doing this, you create an environment where others feel comfortable being themselves. One of the best ways to practice active listening is to repeat back key points after the person speaks. Phrases like, "It sounds like you're saying," or "What I'm hearing is," show that you understand and are engaged with their perspective. This kind of listening builds trust and encourages a deeper level of connection. Listening isn't just about what you say, it's about what you hear and how you respond. By making someone feel understood, you are laying the groundwork for a meaningful relationship. The more you practice listening with intent, the more magnetic you will become. Chapter 5. Becoming emotionally attractive. Charisma isn't just about what you say, it's about how you make others feel. Emotional attraction is one of the most powerful forms of charisma. People are drawn to those who can connect on a deeper emotional level, because emotions are at the core of the human experience. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, control, and express emotions effectively. When you become emotionally intelligent, you start to understand both your own feelings and the emotions of those around you, making you more attractive to others. The key to becoming emotionally attractive is empathy, the ability to truly understand how someone else feels. When you practice empathy, you create an environment where others feel comfortable expressing themselves. You validate their emotions, which builds a strong emotional connection. When people feel understood and heard, they are far more likely to open up and trust you. To become emotionally attractive, practice active listening, pay attention to non-verbal cues, and acknowledge others' emotions. For instance, if someone seems frustrated, instead of offering a solution immediately, you can say something like, "It seems like you're really frustrated with this situation. Can you tell me more about it?" This shows them you care about how they feel, and it encourages a deeper level of communication. Emotional attractiveness isn't about being a therapist, but rather creating a safe emotional space for people to share their thoughts and feelings without judgment. This leads to stronger, more genuine relationships and increases your overall charismatic appeal. Chapter 6. The power of active listening. Active listening is the cornerstone of effective communication. While many people think that being a great communicator is all about speaking well, the truth is that listening is often the most powerful tool in connecting with others. People love to feel heard and understood, and when you actively listen, you create a bond that goes beyond surface-level conversation. To practice active listening, focus on the person speaking and show that you are genuinely interested. This means putting away distractions like your phone and maintaining eye contact. When you give someone your full attention, it makes them feel valued. The key to active listening is understanding, not just hearing. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Pay attention to what the other person is saying and reflect on their words. One simple technique is to repeat key points back to show that you're really engaged. For example, if someone is talking about a stressful work situation, you could say, "It sounds like you've been juggling a lot lately. What's been the hardest part for you?" This validates their emotions and shows you're paying attention. Active listening isn't just about giving feedback, it's about understanding people on a deeper level. By listening carefully, you gain insights into their needs, values, and desires. This allows you to respond in a way that truly connects with them, creating a stronger and more trusting relationship. By practicing active listening in your daily conversations, you'll naturally become more magnetic. People appreciate when they are truly heard. And by engaging in active listening, you create stronger emotional bonds, foster trust, and increase your influence. Chapter 7. Smile, the simplest magnet. A genuine smile is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to attract others. A smile is universally recognized as a sign of warmth, openness, and approachability. Charismatic people often have a natural, genuine smile that makes others feel at ease. They don't have to say much to make a powerful impression. Their smile alone draws people in. The power of a smile lies in its ability to break down barriers. When you smile, you signal to others that you are approachable, friendly, and welcoming. This simple gesture can immediately create a connection, make people feel more comfortable, and set the tone for a positive interaction. A smile is an invitation. It says, "I'm here to connect with you." Interestingly, smiling has a biological impact on the brain. When you smile, your brain releases endorphins, which can boost your mood and even lower stress. This positive energy is contagious, and people are naturally attracted to others who exude positivity. A smile creates an environment where others feel valued and appreciated. To practice this, start by smiling more frequently in your daily interactions. When you meet someone new, greet them with a smile. It's an instant way to make them feel seen and comfortable. Smiling isn't about forcing a grin. It's about genuinely showing warmth and being present with the person in front of you. The more you smile, the more you will naturally attract others. Chapter 8. Avoiding filler words and weak language. The way you speak can either enhance your charisma or diminish it. One of the most subtle yet effective ways to increase your attractiveness as a communicator is by eliminating filler words and weak language. Words like like, and basically can undermine your confidence and credibility even when your ideas are solid. Filler words are often used when we are unsure or nervous. They act as placeholders, allowing us to keep talking while we search for the next thing to say. However, this type of speech can make you sound uncertain and less authoritative. Instead of relying on fillers, take a pause. Pausing before responding shows that you are in control and thinking thoughtfully. Silence can be more powerful than words. Weak language, such as saying, "I'm not an expert," or "I just want to add one thing," can also diminish your credibility. These phrases often signal that you're not confident in what you're about to say. Instead of apologizing for your presence, speak with confidence. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not sure if this is right, but try, here's what I believe." By removing fillers and weak language, you can communicate with clarity and authority. Practice speaking more concisely and directly. Slow down your speech, choose your words carefully, and use pauses to allow your message to land. Over time, this will help you speak more confidently, making your words more powerful and your message more impactful. Chapter 9. Speaking with authenticity. Authenticity is the cornerstone of great communication. No matter how polished your words are, if you're not speaking from a place of authenticity, others can sense it. Authentic communication is magnetic because it connects with people on a deeper level. Charismatic people speak from the heart, not from a script or pretense. They are true to themselves and show vulnerability when necessary. When you speak authentically, you build trust. People are drawn to those who are real, because authenticity creates a sense of safety and openness. If you try to be someone you're not, it becomes difficult to connect genuinely with others. However, when you speak from your own experiences, beliefs and values, your communication becomes much more powerful and people can relate to it. One key to speaking authentically is embracing vulnerability. This doesn't mean oversharing or being overly emotional, but it does mean being honest and transparent about your feelings and experiences. When you speak from a place of truth, others can feel your sincerity, which naturally draws them closer to you. Authentic speakers don't worry about being perfect. They focus on sharing their genuine selves and connecting with others. This makes them more approachable and more memorable. To practice authenticity, focus on aligning your words with your actions. Speak in ways that feel true to who you are, and people will naturally be drawn to your authenticity. Chapter 10. The Psychology of Persuasion. Persuasion is one of the most powerful tools in the psychology of charisma. It's not about manipulation, it's about helping others see your point of view in a way that feels natural, aligned, and authentic. Great communicators understand that persuasion isn't about force, it's about moving people through trust, logic, and emotional appeal. At its core, persuasion is about guiding people to a decision that feels right for them, not for you. True persuasion is built on empathy, listening, and offering value. When you persuade with clarity and respect, people don't feel like they're being convinced. They feel like they're discovering something new, something that resonates with them deeply. Aristotle's 3 principles of persuasion, ethos, logos, and pathos, still form the foundation of all effective persuasion today. Let's break these down. Ethos is credibility. It's the trust you build with your audience. To persuade effectively, you need to earn the trust of your listeners. When they trust you, they're more likely to be influenced by your message. You earn credibility through authenticity, consistency, and expertise. Logos is logic. It's the facts, data, and structure behind your message. Smart speakers appeal to reason by presenting clear, well-supported arguments that make sense. Logical appeals help solidify your message, making it more persuasive and harder to argue against. Pathos is emotion. The most powerful persuaders are those who can make people feel something. Emotions drive decisions. When you can connect with someone's desires, fears, or dreams, you create a deeper connection that goes beyond logic alone. Emotional appeals are what turn ideas into action. To be an effective persuader, you need to master all 3 principles. But remember, persuasion isn't about dominating someone's will. It's about creating a space for understanding and shared values. Chapter 11. Storytelling. The smart speaker's superpower. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools in communication. People remember stories far more than they remember facts, statistics, or bullet points. The human brain is wired for stories, and a well-told story can connect with your audience on an emotional level in a way that simple data never can. In fact, the best communicators are often the best storytellers. When you tell a story, you transport your audience into your experience. They begin to see the world through your eyes, feel what you felt, and live the moments with you. This makes your message not just heard, but felt. Smart speakers use storytelling strategically. Every great story follows a basic structure. The setup. Introduce the characters, the context, and the setting. Make sure your audience understands the situation. This builds connection and relatability. The conflict. This is where the tension comes in. What went wrong? What challenge did you face? This is where the emotional engagement happens, as your audience begins to feel the struggle with you. The resolution. How was the conflict resolved? What did you learn? This is the payoff, the lesson or insight you want your audience to take away. The message. Tie your story back to your point. What should your audience take away from it? Why does it matter? This is where you connect the personal to the universal, creating lasting impact. Storytelling isn't about just telling what happened. It's about crafting a narrative that has a purpose. The best stories teach something, inspire change, and make an emotional impact. Your goal isn't to impress, but to connect with your audience and make them feel something that lasts. Chapter 12. How to build charisma through words. Have you ever met someone who could say the simplest thing and make it sound incredibly powerful? They didn't raise their voice or use fancy words, but their words had a magnetic quality that made everyone listen. That's the essence of charisma. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about having the presence, warmth, and power that draws people in. Charisma is built through a combination of speaking with intention and creating emotional connections with others. To build charisma, you need to understand three key elements: presence, warmth, and power. Presence. Charismatic speakers make the person they're speaking to feel like they are the only person in the room. This means being fully present, giving your undivided attention, and making eye contact. Presence is about focus. When you're truly focused on the other person, your message becomes more meaningful and they can feel that you value their time and attention. Warmth. Warmth is the emotional connection you create with your words, tone, and body language. It's about showing others that you care and that they matter. Warmth doesn't mean flattery. It means showing genuine interest and being empathetic to the other person's needs and emotions. People are drawn to those who make them feel safe and valued. Power. Charismatic people speak with certainty and conviction. They deliver their message with confidence, but without arrogance. Power in communication is about standing behind your words, speaking with belief, and being calm under pressure. It's about conveying your message clearly and persuasively, without needing to dominate the conversation. To develop your charisma, practice focusing on these three elements. When you speak, be present, show warmth, and project confidence and power in your delivery. Over time, you'll see how these shifts in your communication style make you more magnetic to others. Chapter 13. The Science of Influence in Conversation. Effective communication is not just about what you say. It's also about how you influence others in subtle yet powerful ways. Influence is the ability to guide someone's thoughts, decisions, or actions without using force or manipulation. Smart speakers know how to use influence to move people in a way that feels natural and respectful. There are 5 key principles of influence that great communicators use. Reciprocity. This principle is built on the idea that humans feel the need to give back when they've received something. You offer something of value to others, and they'll naturally want to give something back. In communication, this means giving first. whether that's offering value, sharing information, or helping others without expecting anything in return. Consistency. People prefer to act in a way that is consistent with their previous beliefs or actions. To influence someone, get them to commit verbally to a position or belief. Once they've made that commitment, they are more likely to stick with it. This principle is powerful in negotiations, as well as in leadership. Social proof. People tend to follow the actions of others, especially in uncertain situations. When you highlight the behavior of others, such as showing that a lot of people have adopted a new idea or system, you make it easier for others to follow suit. People trust what others trust. So gently pointing to social proof can increase your influence. Liking. We are more likely to be influenced by people we like. People like those who listen to them, who share common interests, and who treat them with respect. Build rapport, ask questions, and find common ground. The more you show interest in someone, the more likely they are to listen to you and be influenced by your ideas. Scarcity. Humans have a natural tendency to value things that are scarce or in limited supply. This principle is about creating urgency. When you highlight the rarity or time-sensitive nature of something, people are more likely to act quickly, but it must be used ethically. Don't create false scarcity. Instead, highlight real opportunities that people could miss if they don't take action. To influence effectively, start by giving value first, building rapport, and speaking with clarity. Don't force your message. Instead, guide others toward insight with respect and empathy. Chapter 14. The Daily Habits of Smart Speakers. Becoming a people magnet and mastering the art of communication isn't something you do once and forget about. It's a lifestyle. Just like any skill, it requires consistent practice. If you want to speak smart, connect deeply, and influence effectively, you need to make these habits part of your daily life. Here are some key habits of smart speakers that you can incorporate into your everyday routine. Think before you speak. Smart speakers always take a moment before speaking. They ask themselves, what is the point of what I'm about to say? Who am I speaking to? And what do they need? Taking this pause helps ensure clarity and purpose in your words. It allows you to focus on the message and how it will be received. Speak less, say more. Quality over quantity. Smart speakers don't ramble. They speak with precision. Every word should serve a purpose. They trust the power of silence and use it strategically to give their message weight. Use your voice as an instrument. Your voice is a tool for communication. Smart speakers vary their tone, slow down when necessary, and use pauses to create emphasis. A well-timed pause can be more impactful than 100 words. Stay curious. Smart communicators are always learning. They read, listen, and engage with diverse ideas to expand their vocabulary and thinking. The more you understand others, the better you can communicate with them. Reflect on your communication. After every important conversation, smart speakers reflect on what they said, how they said it, and how it was received. Self-awareness is key to improving. Ask yourself, did I express myself clearly? How can I do better next time? These daily habits train your brain to become a more effective communicator, not just in formal settings, but in every conversation you have. Conclusion. Speak smart. Lead with impact. The power of communication is undeniable. When you speak smart, you can influence, lead, and connect in ways that others can only dream of. As you've learned, charisma, influence, and connection aren't about being perfect. They're about being intentional in how you interact with the world around you. Mastering these skills takes time, but with practice you will become more magnetic, more engaging, and more persuasive. Remember, charisma isn't a trait you're born with. It's something you cultivate every day through your words, actions, and mindset. Speak with clarity, listen with empathy, and lead with integrity. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who can speak with purpose, who can inspire change, and who can connect hearts and minds. Your voice is powerful. Use it wisely, and you'll shape the world in ways you never thought possible.